Hey folks, it's me again. It's been a while. It's been a month since I've done one of these. How y'all doing? Hanging in there? Cheers, everybody. I'm drinking whiskey tonight. James Buttery did a great whiskey-fueled video recently, a 45-minute long epic. He was having Japanese whiskey. I don't think I've ever had Japanese whiskey. I'm having some genuine Kentucky bourbon from Woodford Reserve, Distillers Select. Good stuff. Not a big fan of Tennessee whiskey. I live in Tennessee, but you know, I'll have it in a pinch. You know, but Jack Daniel's, that's a little bitter to me. This is very smooth, very almost sweet, not like a Southern Comfort kind of icky sweet, but more like a cognac kind of, just very smooth. You can drink it straight. I like to do that in the wintertime. In the summer, I'll have it with rocks like I am now. So yes, cheers, cheers. All right, so it's been a month, which means Rodger bought some records. Not a whole lot, really, since it's been a month. I'm trying to, I don't know what I'm saying. Hey, here's a new Guided by Voices single. I wasn't going to miss out on this, I tell you what. It's a double A side. Now there's a story here. So, Guided by Voices, the revamped Guided by Voices is on tour for like the remainder of the year, and this is the A-side. The first A-side is from a forthcoming double album that'll be out in February 2019, and the B-side is from another double album that's going to come out in February 2020. So apparently he's going to be touring his ass off and, you know, making his money that way, because that's where you make money in music now, is touring your ass off. If people are willing to, like, you know, go see you. So yeah, it's not going to be a deluge of records. Apparently, he's doing some reissues and stuff. And anyway, so I got this single, and the songs they're good. Especially the first A side, "You Own the Night," has this really queer like middle section that's almost like out and out prog, you know. And of course, he has, you know, Doug Gillard in the band. And speaking of Doug Gillard, he's reissuing Speak Kindly of Your Volunteer Fire Department. I think that's what it's called, his record with Doug Gillard. That is some top shelf Pollard right there from 1998 or something like that. Really good. You know, originals are whatever. If you care about this, anyway, Pollard, Guided by Voices. I wasn't gonna miss out on it, man. Here's another 7-inch I got from Hound Dog Hoover, who was like, "Oh, I found this, you'll want it." And I'm like, "Yes, I do." The Horse Hilver Quintet, Filthy McNasty, parts 1 and 2, on Blue Note Records from 1961. Yeah, I love these little Blue Note 45s. I just think they're cool, and they clean up great. They're mono, hit that mono switch, and they sound great, you know? Yeah, it splits it in half, and whatever, they're cool, Blue Note. Come on, man, Blue Note. All right, so all the 7-inches I got. This is my first whiskey, so, you know, if you're thinking, wow, he's pounding the whiskey, like, no, I just thought I'd have a glass of whiskey making this video. And anyway, so let's get into the new vinyl. And, you know, not a lot of new releases, but boy, they're big releases, and big in the sense that they take up a lot of space. The new Kamasi, Washington, Heaven and Earth. Actually 5 LP set on Shoto Mas, Young Turks. I think it's, oh, what's his name? That UK guy, his Brain Feeder, kind of associated with that. I think, I could be wrong. So another massive outpouring from Mr. Washington. Grover Washington Jr.'s son. Now, y'all know that I was a bit ambivalent about the epic. I thought, if you're going to call something the epic and it's 3 LPs, 3 CDs, you know, you're demanding that I take it seriously. And I thought, well, it's nice, but very derivative, just very, and like, yeah, derivative stuff I like, you know, that soul music, soul jazz, spiritual jazz stuff from the late 60s, early 70s, you know, yeah, I like that sound, but it just seemed to ape it without really doing anything more than, aside from making like these gigantic ensembles, you know. So, and then he put out that EP, which is really as long as anyone else's LP, you know, which showed a little bit, like, it sounded a little more contemporary. And so now this, I gotta say, I dig this. Now, he's still nodding towards those wonderful Pharoah Sanders records and stuff, and those, you know, massed choirs, and like those Archie Shepp records, or that, you know, wonderful Andrew Hill record. I might as well be showing this while I'm sitting here. And it's just, you know, so over the top. I mean, you know, this packaging is just not long for this world, you know. I'm gonna have to really handle it very carefully. And in fact, I liked it so much I got the CD, and I'll play the CD. This sounds fine. Sounds, well, I have issues with some of the production, but it sounds fine. The pressing's fine. Yeah, but anyway, there's like some interesting like synthesizers and vocoder stuff, and just things that it's like, okay, we're moving away from 74. We're maybe getting into maybe 79. I don't know. He's young, you know, and God bless him. You know, he's nothing if not ambitious. And if it's getting people listening to jazz, which people don't do, then bully for him. Now, the cool thing about this was, and thank you folks on the Facebook group who were like, because I'm kind of out of touch really, but they're like, oh, there's a 5th disc hidden in there. I'm like, what, really? Yes, indeed. So in the center thing here, as you can see, there's this, it's like, yeah, it is pretty thick, isn't it? Well, if you cut along this perforation, it just really kind of touch and go, but yeah, there's another disc that goes in like that. So it's like 5 LPs. What can I say? I dig it. My wife digs it. I got the CD. You know, I think it's a big step forward from the Epic, honestly. Others may disagree, but you know, he's gonna be here in Nashville on our birthday. My wife and I have the same birthday in November, and we're thinking of going to see him. I bet he puts on a great show. Alright, so cheers. Okay, a couple of the rest of these are reissues, and these, boy, these are some key reissues, I tell you what. And again, they're so massive, they take up so much space. Now, Sun, the doom metal band, drone band, whatever, they've been pretty good about keeping their stuff in print on vinyl, but these two were impossibly rare. White 1 and White 2. Just recently reissued by Southern Lord. And these are the limited edition white vinyl, limited to 1,000 copies. You know, I didn't know if that was gonna be it. Like, okay, well, just these 1,000 copies. And their social media is like really kind of like, you know, they're good marketers, whatever. As it turns out, there's gonna be a widespread reissue of this, including black vinyl and normal weight vinyl, but you know, get them while you can. And these white ones are still available. They were as of last week on the website. So, yeah, so these are super important records in the Sun discography from 2002 and 2003, respectively. Supposedly they were going to be acoustic records, but they had all these guests, including Julian Cope, who does this really bizarre. I need to turn this down. Does this bizarre kind of declamation on the first track of White 1 about Johnny Guitar and Mr. O'Malley and Mr. Green. Anyway, not my favorite track, but it goes on to be some of their most experimental and collaborative stuff that would, you know, pave the way to where they would wind up. And just super great, and really great to have them. They did a really fantastic job with the, you know, thick cardboard covers and these obi strips, and there's even like these ridiculous gigantic posters of them in their robes and stuff. So yeah, great. If you're into those guys, highly, highly, highly recommended. I've had those on CD for years. And it's always been like, you know, it's, you know, whenever Dom Crew got reissued recently, it's like, oh, come on, dude, why? So anyway, yay. Whiskey, God, it goes right to my tongue, I tell you. Alright, speaking of metal, one more metal reissue. I was really happy to see. Wolves in the Throne Room, live at Roadburn 2008. It's the 10-year anniversary of their performance at Roadburn, which was kind of a breakthrough thing for them. I've talked about Wolves in the Throne Room before, American black metal band that is a little more than just black metal. They have atmospheric and avant-garde tendencies. And this is just great. Just, you know, they pull it off live, you know? And what more could you want? Alright, now I got this used, but it's virtually mint. And I like the cover, and I kind of heard of this guy. I'm like, oh, what the hell, it's cheap. Prefuse 73. Everything she touched turned to Empexian. Look at that cover. That's just... What is this? Prague? Well, I guess it is. It's on Warp, another thing. So double LP on Warp. Although these sides are rather short. So Prefuse 73 is this guy, Guillermo S. Heron, who's done a bunch of other things. Basically like a producer. And this music, from what I can tell, is made with samplers. And it's and, you know, for almost 10 years ago, 2009. And so there's a lot of like jump cuts and just found sounds, and, you know, very much created in a computer. Like, this music could not exist if we didn't live in this computer digital age. You know, it's just like it's made in the way that a computer allows you to do things that you can't do very easily with like tape. You know, it's fascinating. I've listened to it a few times, and it's like kind of overwhelming because there's so much kind of coming at you all the time, sonically. You know, yeah, it's cool. You know, sure, why not? Are you wondering what we're listening to? It's The Mathematics of War. Yes, my new CD. Speaking of James Buttery, he did such a fantastic job on the graphic design, putting this all together. And Jeff McLennan in Canada, Jeff blowing Double O Cabbage. Oh, he was making videos there for a minute there. Anyway, yeah, I'm playing it because I can, and I'm gonna leave a link. Check it out. I think I'm really quite proud of it. There's gonna be a review in Jazzwise. There's even a little blurb in the new issue. When I get it, I'm gonna show it. But anyway, maybe I'll babble about this a little later. But anyway, that's what's raging in the background. And yeah, what are we doing? Oh, 13 minutes. Not too bad. Not too bad. I got a lot of records to show, but I'm gonna go through some of these kind of quickly. Whiskey. Alright. Y'all know I'm on a big Bobby Womack kick, and I hit a vein of Bobby Womack records. Including his very first record from 1969, Fly Me to the Moon, on Minute Records, division of United Artists. The cover's pretty jacked up, but the vinyl cleaned up great. It sounds great. You know, it's produced by Chips Moman, so I think it's like the whole Russell Shoals kind of thing. And you know, this guy, he could sing the phone book, honestly. And you know, but he's also a songwriter. He's also a great guitar player too. I have yet to be disappointed by any of these, and this is apparently slightly rare. I also found a really beautiful copy of his second album, which is called My Prescription. Given how things wound up, that's a kind of sad, ironic title. Looks so clean cut there. Also on Minute, this is from 1970, I believe. Also produced by Chips Moman, and yeah, it's like some crazy covers on here. I Left My Heart in San Francisco, but it's like it's great. It's great. All right. Moving ahead quite a bit to 1974. We have, what is this called? Looking for a Love Again. And this is more like kind of a classic 70s Bobby Womack record. And it's just, you know, again, Muscle Shoals, you know, is where it was made. And let's see, what kind of songs were on here? Yeah, Copper Kettle. What a stupid song. But he kills it. He kills it. Here's a terrible cover, right? Bobby Womack, Pieces. I'm going to make this the cover of my video. This is from, we're 78. Better than that cover. Way better than that cover. In fact, I've yet to be really disappointed by a Bobby Womack record. Here's also an interesting cover of that red leather suit. The Poet 2, featuring Patti LaBelle. This has got some disco-y touches. This is from 80 something, 84 maybe, something like that, 85. But it's better than it looks. It really, like, some of the songs are great. And again, his singing is awesome. And here we have like one of his last ones, not from 1989, Save the Children. This one really suffers from some really dated sounding production and like some wanky guitar playing from Santana, and you know the programmers get like top billing here, and like, you know, so lots of Lindrum stuff, and you know, at that time that sounded like new and fresh and stuff, but boy. But again, his singing and even some of the arrangements and stuff are still, you know. So he had a brother named Cecil Womack. And he did some things with his wife. Womack and Womack, Love Wars. And I remember when this came out in 1983. I think I was working at Strawberry Records in Boston, and I kind of, you know, I shined it on at the time. I was, you know, whatever, not hip or whatever. This is a great R&B record. I mean, I'm sorry, this is, you know, 1983, you think, oh, it's going to have all that awful production. It's like, no, it's really good. It's really solid. As is this, another one. Well, the production is a little cheesier, but Radio MUSC, man. You know, but the singing and the songwriting and the grooves and the, yeah, man. And, you know, especially this. This is, you know, considered, I guess, their best record, and it's really good. Yeah, not hard to find. Hard to find in good shape. You know, these soul records are like, you know, they were party records, so people would drink and spill and scratch the needle across, you know. Oh well. And smoke, you know, and I was a big smoker for a long time, but, you know, smoking inside with your record collection is a really bad idea, okay? Alright, there's a record store here in town, and I'm just going to say this, called Allison's Record Store. And she kind of inherited the initial stock, and it was started out as like a hi-fi store, and still is kind of a hi-fi store, but they have records. I'll be honest, it's some really amazing records there, priced accordingly. Sometimes ludicrously, you know, particularly when it's like a common record. Like, there's a lot of like $5 records in there that she wants $10 or $15 for, which just irritates me. Okay, I'll just be honest. But then again, you know, I've bought some things there, and she does this thing where like, for every $10 you spend, you get a little card, and so you spend $100, you get $10 off your next purchase. That takes the sting off a little bit if you're buying an expensive record, you know, but this is a place where they're, you know, $150, $200, $300, you know, you want that record. Anyway. So I don't go there a lot, because it's often just torture, you know what I mean? And, but I went in there the other day, and I found this in the jazz section of all places. Still sealed, Soft Machine 5. Still sealed. For not a ludicrous amount of money. I mean, it wasn't cheap, but it wasn't like sphincter tighteningly expensive. I was like, fact, she had another copy. It wasn't still sealed. It was a really nice copy. It was one of the Soft Machine records I was missing. Whenever I've seen them, they've been just trashed, and just this black cover with the, can you see the 5 there? It's just this ring, it's just asking for ringware, right? You know? So I was like, yeah, I brought it home and opened it up and played it, and it just was like, yeah, awesome. So 1972 on Columbia, Soft Machine 5. Yeah, buddy. Great jazz rock fusion. You know, they started out with Robert Wyatt and psychedelic and stuff. I really dig where they went, you know, I really do. And so I was like, oh, I'm really excited. I got out my copy of, I played it, and I was like, oh, I want to hear Soft Machine 6, which is a big double album with a live one and a studio album. I pulled my copy out, and it was like, I was like, so I'm like, well, have I ever deep cleaned this? So I deep cleaned it, put it on, it was like, slightly less, you know, crackly. But I was like, oh, shit. But I remembered she had a beautiful promo copy of it for, again, not a ridiculous amount of money. I went back the next day and I bought it. Soft Machine 6. Virtually unplayed promo copy. In fact, this timing strip was never glued onto the cover. It's just loose there. And it's not a white label, but the labels have a demonstration not for sale stamped on them. But the cover is mint, the vinyl is mint, and holy shit, this is great. I mean, the live side especially is just primo Soft Machine. And then the studio side is beautiful, almost minimalist at times. The softs, love it. Moving right along. Hey, big shout out to the Dr. Rhythm channel. They just recently kind of put up a video, and I realized, oh shit, I haven't made a video in a while, because this is 2 they put up since my last video. So anyway, this is something they showed in their not their most recent, but their last video. I think John showed this. Roy Ayers, Ubiquity, Red, Black, and Green. And seriously, the day after, or that day, when I watched that video, like, you know, doing my morning workout or whatever, I go to this one of my locals, and there it is, really nice copy of it. Awesome. And this is great, you know. Now, this is a guy who made a lot of records, and they're not hard to find, but you know, it's hard to know it's good, but this got the Dr. Rhythm seal approval, and so yeah, this is awesome. You know, it's funky soul jazz, I guess you'd call it. There's some vocals. Sonny Fortune plays saxophone on it. Great. I love the sound of the vibraphone, and he's a good one. So, cheers, Dr. Rhythm, John, Mark. Love your channel. You know, the VC's gone through a lot of changes, and I gotta say, the consistency of seeing them month after month really, it helps me to keep going, to be perfectly honest. Alright, I got this some time ago, and on their most recent Dr. Rhythm, you know, community sharing session, John showed a Weldon Irvine record, and Weldon Irvine is popular in the DC, but his records are very hard to find. And I found this reissue, this kind of dodgy reissue of Cosmic Vortex, Justice Divine, some time ago, but it was like a skippy nightmare, and I'm like, okay, well, I need to do my little deep cleaning routine before I jettison it, and I finally got around to doing that, and it cleaned up great, and you know, it's clearly probably from a CD master, but at least it wasn't like sending the needle jumping all over the record. And yeah, this is kind of disco-y, soul, jazz. You know, you'd think kind of in a Sun Ra vein, and Sun Ra made some records kind of in this vein. It's fairly commercial, but interesting stuff from 1974. Some great musicians on here. I can see why he's got a rep in the VC. I think also the fact that originals are hard to find, you know, helps fuel that. I think, maybe? I don't know, I could be wrong. Certainly that's not what's fueling the Dr. Rhythm channel. And in fact, since I'm sitting here drinking bourbon and going on and on, I gotta say that one of the things I love about the Dr. Rhythm channel is that you never know what they're going to show, and they'll show a lot of like fairly mainstream stuff. They're not afraid to come across as unhip. They do not care about that. And, you know, I think they're around my age, and you get to be my age, and you just stop caring about that stuff. I mean, you want to know about what's good, right? But you're not going to, like, I don't know. So, anyway, like all that Bobby Womack stuff, again, I got to thank you guys for... They're always showing the soul stuff and R&B stuff that I'm like, yeah, you know, I love that stuff, and I don't have enough of it in my collection. Now, I don't have enough shelf space, but that is a whole other issue. Okay. Cheers, guys. Is this too loud? Too intense? Do you hate it? I'm gonna leave it loud. Whatever. I found this used, gently used, Tim Buckley, live at the Troubadour 1969. This is the 2 LP version. I think this was a Record Store Day thing from 2017. There's since been a box set, apparently, the whole weekend he did at the Troubadour. I don't know if I need that necessarily. Now, Tim Buckley live is a whole different thing than his studio record. A little bit crazed sometimes, but I dig it. I dig it. This is really good. I mean, I'm just kind of a huge fan of, you know, I kind of have a crush on him. He's a good-looking guy. Right. And boy, could he sing. God. Cheers. Okay. Another record I got from Hound Dog Hoover. And his prices are so good that it's like, okay, I'll take a chance on this. The Glitter House, Colorblind. This is from 1968 on the Dino Voice label. It's in really beautiful shape. It's got a BB hole, but so it's this like mixed race band out of New York, I believe. Not too far away from like Love around this time. Kind of psychedelic, kind of pop, kind of avant-garde. And this is really good. I mean, I think, you know, I looked it up on Discogs and there weren't very many copies, and what copies there were, well, they wanted way more than Hound Dog Hoover wanted. So I'm like, okay, I'll take a chance on this. And yeah, this will sit on the shelf with my Love records, and, you know, it holds up. It holds up. I dig it. It's, you know, again, psych is another, you know, genre that my collection is really, I mean, I have some, but it's not like, it's ever been like a real focus, and particularly like obscure psych stuff. You know, again, I have some, but anyway, it sits in that wheelhouse, and, you know, kind of a cool find. Alright, just a few more. Just a few more. It's not going to be a 45-minute long epic. Should I pour myself some more bourbon? I think I should. Just a couple fingers. Alright. Another Hound Dog Hoover find. Atomic Rooster. Death Walks Behind You. On Elektra from 1971. I think this is their second album. The first one that was released in the US. Look at these dudes. Oh man. Yeah, buddy. Yeah. I like this stuff. Again, they're another band kind of like Budgie. A little hard to... kind of in that proggy but yet hard rock kind of vein, and they didn't sell well, but they're highly regarded, and so their records are kind of desirable, and you kind of can see them around. Atomic Rooster is more common in the U.S. anyway. U.S. copies are more common than Budgie. Budgie records are quite impossible to find. I don't know what that means, but because these guys are equally as good and more proggy, you know. So you got your prog and you get your hard rock, and you know, you're good to go. You're good to go. Okay, maybe that's more than a couple fingers. All right. Miles Davis, big fun. You're probably thinking, why is he saving the Miles Davis vinyl to the end? Well, okay. It's a little beat. It's a little beat, although 3 out of 4 sides are played perfect. Now, okay. I never actually owned a copy of this. So a roommate, a good friend of mine, had a nice Japanese copy of this, and we memorized that record. We worshiped that record, especially that track "Go Ahead, John." Okay, side 3, "Go Ahead, John," John McLaughlin. Now I have the 5 or 6 CD set, the complete On the Corner, which has "Go Ahead, John" on it, but they remixed it and didn't do that thing where his guitar jumps back and forth between the speakers, because that was done live by Tio and Miles, jumping it, pressing a button, this speaker, then that speaker, then that speaker. So on that CD, which itself is very, very rare, that's an example of a rare CD, is that On the Corner box set. Check it out, go on Discogs, see what they go for. And so I thought, and that took forever for that to finally come out. I'm like, oh, I put it on, and it sounds fine, and a lot of the remixing they did is revelatory. But I was like, oh man, I love the way that Tio did that jump thing, So I've been looking for a copy and looking for a copy of this, and finally found a decent copy. There you go. And finally, Miroslav Vitus Miroslav on Heirs to Freedom. This is a reissue of a Black Lion thing. It was recorded in 1976 and 1977 with Miroslav overdubbing a lot of things, including bass and synthesizers and stuff like that. Some percussion. It's really, really good. Miroslav Vitus, great bass player and just a great musician, a great conceptualist. And this is a really nice record. I think this is a promo copy. Doesn't matter. Came out in 1977, and I think I paid like $3 or $4 for it. And it's worth, musically, exponentially more than that. Alright, that's the end. That's the end of vinyl records. Mathematics of War. I'm not trying to sell you people anything, but... So yeah, there's going to be an actual review in Jazzwise in September, which is really cool, and I've been privileged. I know someone there, which is really amazing. Hey, if you're watching. Really encouraging, because I'll tell you what, the response to this has been, let's say, muted. People are listening online, but they're not biting. They're not shelling out. No matter how beautiful the packaging, and the packaging is really beautiful. And I'm going to pull it out. I'm going to show it now as I ramble here. Anyway, I don't want to give away anything from this review, but the guy has a way with words, and the upshot of it is that this is not easy listening. This is, we didn't set out to make something that you can tap your foot and feel good about things. We, for better or worse, made a piece of art. Not just the music, but the way it all comes together with the graphic design and just photographs and the way the titling and Rob Clark's participation with the whole mathematical angle of it. And this CD comes out of there. So I was emailing back and forth with this guy Jazzwise, and I was saying, honestly, I'm pretty pleased with this, because I'm a fan of extreme music, like death metal and black metal and Merzbow and whatever, And by and large, that stuff, once you get acclimated to the sound, is harmless. It's just another style, and it's and all the malevolence that is on the surface of the metal scene is just on the surface. If you ever actually go to a metal gig, like, for the most part, they're a bunch of sweethearts. This thing, honestly, the title track especially has a genuine menace about it. We're not we're not fucking around. We're not mincing words, and we're not pretending that things are somehow different than how they actually are. And that's an uncomfortable thing. And on that note, I'm gonna stop. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. Let's have a sip of bourbon. Cheers. Yeah, I'll be back soon. Thanks for watching. Thank you for your comments. I decided I'm going to try to respond to comments again. I'm sorry I had to take a break. I think I maybe lost some viewers and whatever, but yeah. Anyway, I love you all. Take care. Bye bye.